Hello, dear ones. Welcome to Touched by the Lord, a program that will build your faith, hope, and trust in the Lord. We are so grateful to God for life. What have you told the Lord today? He holds your life in his palms. When he decides to squeeze you, you will not have life. But we thank God that we're still alive. What have you been telling God when you go through situations? Do you know that every situation you pass through is opportunity for you to take the step to another level? Yeah. Don't ever complain when you're going through bad times, because God will use those bad times for you as stepping stones to the top. Yeah. So hold on and go through whatever God has allowed for you to go through. May is for women. And I want to encourage you out there, woman, that be strong. Hold on to your faith. Don't be discouraged. No matter what you are going through, God is with you. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, TBL TV. Like, comment, and share. You will be a blessing. There are a lot of videos that encourages. Please go to our YouTube channel and share it to your families, friends, and loved ones. Please like our Instagram and Facebook pages, TBL TV. Please continue to help us share this wonderful program to bless many people out there. When we get those calls, we are so encouraged. Please don't hesitate to share, and you will be a blessing to someone. Yeah. Today, I'm so excited to have my friend of many years to share her life journey with us. She's a strong woman and a wonderful mother. She's gone through a series of things. And today we are blessed that my dear sister Becky Ackah will share her life story. She will take a little time to introduce herself. Hello, Becky.
Hello, Suzzy.
I'm so excited that you are here.
I am too.
From Ghana Airways?
I know, we go back decades, don't we?
And
from 1996.
From 1996.
That's a long time
ago. You know,
ago.
both of us were employed in 96.
Did you? At the same time too?
I was January.
I thought I came
you
to
were?
meet you. 96.
January. I was January.
Ah, June. I was in June.
Okay, so you met me.
Oh,
just
I
6
did.
months.
Yes, I thought you were my senior.
And today, we are here. We've been sisters. And you have gone through, you know, when you were with the British High Commission, you were helping us with what we were doing.
Absolutely.
And by the grace of God, you are now working for a multinational company. Please take a bit to introduce yourself.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much, Suzzy. And I'm Becky Ackah.
Yeah.
I'm the third daughter of 11 children.
You are 11?
Third daughter
of
11 children of my parents. Wow. My mother had only girls. First 5 girls of my father's was my mother's.
Hey.
And I'm Mansa.
Oh, so you're Mansa?
I am. But we had other step siblings, and so we're a total of 11 years. I had very humble beginnings.
Yeah, that's how God does it.
And that's interesting. That's how God takes things, you know, from unsuspecting places and then transforms them into something completely
Don't forget
different.
Jesus.
Amazing. Yeah. He has been with me through this journey, and I'm grateful how far he's brought me.
Amen.
So, yes, when I finished secondary school, I did not continue straight into the university. I worked for a bit. So I worked for an air conditioning firm called Supercare as an accounts clerk.
Oh, so you were with Supercare?
I was.
Okay.
I was with Supercare before I joined Ghana Airways in 96.
Okay.
And then in 2001, I left Ghana Airways and joined the British High Commission. But I'm no longer with the British High Commission. I served for 18 years and then I bowed out to do something different. Also in the law enforcement sector. I'm still in the law enforcement sector with an international organization currently. My expertise, my experience has been in psychology. So I studied undergrad, I studied psychology, but I graduated with a double major program. So I did psychology and management. And then later on in life, I'm only saying this as a summary, but it has been a journey, you know. Later on, I mastered, I did my master's in public relations. And then I had some professionalization courses.
So a lot of them.
A lot of them in between the times. And then I have 2 adult daughters. And one is doing her national service. One is in second year of the university.
Thank God for your life.
Thank you.
You know, it's been a journey. I knew you, we were both young and we all got married and on and on. Can you share a bit? Because, you know, like I said, you're a strong mother, but you have gone through a phase. Can you share a bit of that to encourage some young woman listening to us?
Okay, I will try.
Yes.
I married pretty young in my life. Around 26, 27 years I was married. And I think, I don't want to blame myself too much for making a bad choice, but I think it was not such a good choice. Because 2 years into the marriage already, I wanted to leave because the quality I expected was not what I was seeing. And as I sit right now on your set, I want to encourage other people that if you are in courtship and you feel this intuition, you feel convicted about something not right about the relationship, take a step back and delve into it. Make sure you deal with the issues before you move on. And even if it means stepping out. Because I thought I found a man who was very confident. But there's a thin line.
Like yourself.
Like myself.
You're very confident.
But there's a thin line between confidence and arrogance. And some other things got in the way. So it didn't quite end very well for me. But I had to pick myself up and do what needed to be done for the sake of the children. So a lot of my life has been a sacrifice, has been sacrificing for the sake of my children.
You've sacrificed so much. But someone is listening to us, says that, oh, I've found my love. Okay, Bia Minty. Parents are seeing some red flags. And they would say that we are just in love. What are you going to tell the person watching us? A young woman, a young man.
Young woman, young man out there. We are not just flesh and blood. We are spirit as well. And the spirit stirs in us things that the world do not understand. So first of all, if you have a good relationship with Christ, when you get the promptings and the stirring for some issue, please pay attention. Please pay attention and investigate that. And then if it's possible, speak to someone more elderly and more mature. And I think those were some of my problems. I didn't have anybody I was willing to open up to.
You didn't want to?
I think I didn't want to. I think I feel embarrassed about a lot of things. I don't like to disclose too much about myself, but that will put you in a more dangerous situation if you don't. So I've learned the hard way of not opening up to somebody a bit more wiser. So please, when you get the promptings and the stirrings, don't disregard them. Speak to somebody who is a bit more matured and wise and let them guide you into making that step, especially when it's a life-changing, decision
Yeah.
that you have to make.
Because marriage is a long journey. So if somebody will say that I'm just in love, they go in and then within 6 months, they want to come out. You understand? Like you were telling us, if you had only
spoken to someone
and taken advice, because you thought you were so much in love.
I thought.
You were young, he's a nice guy and all that. And so take us through the journey of, you told us that you went to school later. Can you take us through that journey? Because when we were discussing it, I think it was interesting for someone out there to hear.
Okay.
Yeah.
So initially I started as a science student in school. And because my father wanted me to become a doctor. A lot of the times when our parents see that the child is intelligent, the first thing that comes to mind, and I remember Reverend Ajua saying that in one of your programs, that because they think you are intelligent and because of what they perceive you to be, they think, and then again, they think being a doctor or being a lawyer is prestigious.
Yes, it's it.
But because our worldview at the time perhaps was limited.
Yes, true.
But now, the world, IT has opened up the world.
True.
So we realize that it is not only being doctors and lawyers, that's it. But that's how I started. Yeah. But fortunately for me, I added accounting and French to my science core subjects. And I ended up, the guidance and counseling section of my school advised me to change quickly to business, because I didn't do very well in biology. I don't know how to draw very well. So biology was my weak point. So I changed to business. And then when I finished school, I told you I come from very humble beginnings. I had to work to support my parents because I saw my mother sell her things, sell her clothes, to the extent that my mother didn't have kaba and slit. She didn't have the proper dress to wear to church. Because she had to sell her stuff to make ends meet. We needed to sell to help our parents to make ends meet. So I have gone around selling brownie wewu before, sold bananas and cigarettes and all of this in front of the Nungwa Secondary School. We used to go and display the wares there and help our mothers to sell in the evening when we closed from school. So yes, I sit here looking all very nice and pretty, but I do really come, when I say I come from humble beginnings, I do.
The reasons.
And so when I finished A-levels, I thought I should find a job to help support the family, because it was difficult for my mother especially.
So that's how come you...
That's how come I worked the first few years before I joined Ghana Airways. That's how, and the job with Super K, I actually found the advert in the papers and I attended the interview. A week later, I went back to see the managing director and told him that I was interested in the job. The secretary didn't want me to see him, but I waited until I got the chance and I got that job. Then 6 months into that job, I got the opportunity to, join Ghana Airways. And then 3.5 years after that, within that period, that was when I married. Because again, I appreciated the fact that a woman needed to hold down a job before you get married. So I met my ex-husband during our national service time. He was doing his second service and I was doing our first service. You know how our time, when you finish sixth form, you do national service.
You do it before you go to uni.
So that's how I knew him. So I knew him before I joined Ghana Airways. So we got married. And then we had children. And then I moved to the British High Commission. And I had started having children. And so I said, okay, to let developing myself wait so I can take care of the children, especially because my husband was busy studying. So he was still studying, he was studying for his master's at the time. And I was at home looking after the children. And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, it's not. There's nothing wrong.
Because in marriage, you're supposed to help each other. So when one partner is busy doing something, the other partner must hold the other side, just so that it balances.
You're right.
What hurts is when at the end, when you want to enjoy the fruits of that labor, it sort of eludes you.
That's true.
But otherwise, it was a good thing. And that's how I started. So I stayed with a job that finishes at 3:30. So it was good. You could send your child to school, and then you could come back in the afternoon and pick the children up. So going back to school was not in my mind until 2002.
Yeah.
After I'd had my second daughter, I thought about, okay, going back to school.
Yes.
But I didn't have enough money.
Okay.
So I took a second job.
Wow.
I took a second job with Kenyan Airways at the airport doing customer service. So whilst my husband was doing his master's, his first master's, I closed at 3:30 from the High Commission, come back home to express breast milk for my younger daughter, and then prepare myself to go and work for Kenyan Airways in the evening, doing part-time.
Wow.
Again, like I did after my first service, helping my parents because I didn't want to stay home and worked. Again, I did that because that's how I was nurtured, to help.
That's it.
So my mother was helping my father when we were growing up. And so I was also helping my husband, you know, because I was married.
And that's good.
And that's good.
Yeah.
In fact, every woman, because we were created as helpmates for the man. Yeah. So you cannot stop helping your husband. Do not stop helping your husband. It's the right thing to do, and it's scriptural.
Yeah.
So I did. But then, when I went to my husband, so I waited another 10 years. So 2015, I waited till the children had grown a bit, and I wanted to go back to school. And I approached my husband to want to go back to school. I said, what do you think about me going back to school? He said, I don't think anything. I thought that the environment was not right, so I said, okay, let me. I was hurt and went back. But I spoke to my mother. So that at this point, I've started asking counseling.
No, but there's something that I want us to. Your husband says something, you were hurt. But it's good you didn't say anything.
No, I didn't.
Good. So if someone is listening to us, I think that Becky's style is the best. Hold on. Don't say anything. Good.
And then I went to seek counsel in my mother. And my mother said, maybe he was angry about something, so wait 2 weeks. And I said, oh, they've started the mature students program already. She said, wait 2 weeks and go back to him. So I waited 2 weeks, and they had already started the program to go back to my husband again. And I reminded him that I brought that conversation up, and I wanted to get his opinion about whether it was okay for me to go back to school. He repeated the same thing, and this time he asked me to read his lips. I don't think anything. He said, read my lips. I don't think anything. If you go and something happens, and I interjected, what will happen if I go? He decided not to continue the conversation, so we were both angry at that point, so he left. But I took that small window of opportunity that he said, if you go and something happens, which means that I can go, but if something happens, I cannot come back to him.
Yes.
I took advantage of that small opportunity, and I went back to school.
Wow. Viewers, don't go anywhere. And come on ahead. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Have you been watching Nessie's Healthy Cooking with Salad Master? Please take time and watch, because health is most crucial. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, TBL TV. Like, comment, and share to friends, families, and loved ones. Like our Facebook and Instagram pages, TBL TV. Do you have any life story to share? Please take our numbers on the screen. Contact us, and we'll help you to share to bless someone out there. Okay.
Yes.
Before we went on the break, we were talking about read my lips. And then after all said and done, you took the opportunity and went back to school. Let's continue from there.
The sad part of that story is that before I was asking to want to go back to school, he had already had an opportunity to go back to do both another master's and a PhD.
Wow.
I won't tell you where, because it will mean that I'm disclosing too much.
Yeah.
And had found a way to get me to bring my daughter to a school closer to home, which I was asking for many years. That did not happen. Then third term, when nobody accepted children in school, he obliged me, and I had to pull a few strings where I could to get my daughter to a school closer to home. And so I think he didn't feel comfortable that he was traveling and I was going to go back to school.
Why?
But then that's where communication is important.
Yeah.
So the two of you, instead of getting angry that your partner is also looking to upgrade themselves, have a healthy conversation about the impact of the decisions.
That is it.
Because after all, I had sacrificed many years looking after the children and doing work that takes less hours. So I am home and with the children whilst you are busy improving yourself.
Someone is watching us. They are going through this dilemma in their marriage. Should I go? Or I should stay back? You know, it happens to women a lot.
It does.
Should I go or I should stay? What are you going to tell that person watching us?
I think you should gauge the dynamics in your marriage before you make any such decision. And because we are women and we are under the authority of our husbands, if my husband has said not to go, I would have stayed home. I told you that I took that small window of opportunity when he said, if you go and anything happens. So I took advantage of that opportunity. But if he said, no, I don't want you to go, it would mean that I'll need to seek counsel. Because you cannot decide on your own to do it when your husband says don't.
I will ask you another question. You would have seek counsel.
I would have.
And if the counselor said go back to school,
it's a very difficult situation. We can't have a single solution for everybody's problem because every marriage is different. So I can only talk about mine. That I had that little window of opportunity. You can encourage him. That's why I said the communication is important. You need to discuss why he says no. You need to talk about why he says no and see how you can resolve his concern for you not wanting to progress yourself or to improve yourself. I don't think it's entirely wrong for your husband to say, no, not now, but not to say not ever.
No, what about not ever? Because we have seen a lot that's no, don't. And the person has upgraded himself to PhD. And you would have been a sixth former.
I think it has to do with some complex, some insecurity. Let me not say complex, but insecurity on the part of the husband who says the wife should not improve themselves. So we need to investigate what the insecurity is.
So you will investigate?
I come from an investigative background.
I know.
So everything I say is investigate. Look into it. But that's why counselors are there. We've got our parents, we've got our pastors, and we've got trusted friends. So you need to bring the matter up. Proverbs encourages us to go to the right person for counsel, which means that we need to go for counsel.
Yes.
So find the right person you can go to for counsel to help your husband iron out some of the insecurities so that you can be allowed to do what you need to do for the betterment of the family.
The both.
Yes.
So if the person will not avail themselves for counseling, what?
That's tough. I can't make a decision.
That's it.
I can't tell you what to do. It's difficult for me.
It is.
If your husband says don't, I can't say defy his orders and go. Because it will be wrong. It will be wrong.
Okay.
I can't say divorce him and go and continue your education.
Oh, no.
I can't give that kind of advice. I can only say go on your knees and pray about it and seek counsel. Those are the two decisions. That's what I did.
Most crucial.
You pray about it and you seek counsel.
So you get
and
the,
you take advantage. Ahead. Yes, and you take advantage of any opportunity. Sometimes they come to a compromise. They don't always. Hopefully, they don't. Take an entrenched position that they will come to some compromise and say, okay, I want this to happen before you do that, so that you come to a compromise as to when you can actually take charge of your career progression. Okay.
We're coming to the children. The sacrifices are so much and it has paid. Walk us through so that if a young mother is listening to you, they would encourage themselves and sacrifice.
So first of all, I pray. I wake up in the middle of the night to pray over my children, to pray in my house, to pray into my room. So one is prayer that has held me. You know, it's prayer that had protected me. It's God that has protected me. So one is prayer. Two is I brought myself down to the level of my children. So if the children are watching cartoons, I'm watching cartoons with the children. If they are learning a song, I'm singing with them. So my life revolved around my children. I didn't have a lot of places I go to. I go to work, from home to work, to church and to market. These are the only 4 places I go to. I didn't have friends to go and sit in a friend's house and chat. Up to today, I don't know how to do that.
That one is good.
So all my time, apart from work, was dedicated to my children. So I knew when things were happening very early stages in their life. For instance, my younger daughter has allergies. And she was sick and was given antibiotics. And immediately I gave her the antibiotics because I was paying attention to the children. Fortunately, again, because she's a bit light-colored, I saw lesions beginning to come up under her skin. We rushed her to the hospital. The first hospital kept her for a week, tried to flush
a week?
Yes, to flush it out of her system. When it wasn't getting better, they transferred us to Kolebu, and we were in Kolebu for 1 full month because she had Steven Johnson's.
Wow.
She had Steven Johnson's complex. And our luck was that I identified that very early. So if a lot of things are taking your time, you will not be able to pay attention to your children. So my children are my friends. They come back from school, they tell you things about school. When they have difficulty, you are able to pick that up early in the stage and provide the interventions. So my children and my older daughter as well had sight problems. Very early, I noticed that there were, and fortunately her school organized some medical screenings, and we took advantage of that. And we followed it up with going to have, the proper refraction and checks done. And got her glasses as early as when she was in class 2.
Wow.
And when we got out of the hospital and I drove onto the main road, my daughter exclaimed, "Mommy, I can see."
Wow.
Now, it broke my heart that one, the child was not seen. But if we were not paying attention to the child at that early age, you won't be able to identify that the problem the child had, not being able to, always wanting to sit in front of the class, even fighting for space in front of the class, and always sitting in front of the TV is because the child had a problem. My second daughter's problem is completely different. You teach her right now, then she forgets. Wow. Again, it was a sight problem that had to be corrected.
Wow.
So you have to put, sometimes you have to put friendships away. Sometimes you have to put...
So tell a mother who has no time for her children, left the children for the house help.
That is wrong. I had house helps, I had nannies, house helps, and I graduated to having nannies in my house. I was still involved in my children's life. I only give instructions and they do, and I'm there. So I please don't leave your children to house helps, because they did not give birth to the child. I had a house help, let me share this. I had a house help who got angry that the dog was still urinating into the corridor, went into the kitchen, put water on fire, brought it to the boil, took it out of fire and poured it on the dog. The dog lost all the skin on the body on one side. It scared me so much, I sent that house help away, even though my husband was not happy about it. So house helps can never love your child like yourself. I also had my grandmother, my late grandmother, with me at certain stages of my life, and it was helpful. So I had an adult in the house and I had a house help as well, and I closed work at 3:30 p.m. So for those of you who go to work early, I used to start work at 7:30 and finish at 3:30, and you leave the house early when your child is still half awake. And you come back when your child is fast asleep. That is not good parenting. Good parenting includes having a vested interest in the child's welfare and seeing the child every day. I used to teach my children myself until I realized that I no longer had the capacity before I started inviting teachers in to help me to teach the children and to guide them. So please don't leave your children to nannies and others. They can never watch over them and nurture them like you would. There are a lot of things children can tell their parents, they cannot tell someone else. So please bear that in mind. Otherwise, one day you come back from work and your child would have committed suicide. Because they would not feel loved. How many times have you said, I love you to your child? We say that so many times in my house, it's no longer difficult to say. So if you tell any of my daughters, I love you, you have not done anything. Because we share that love every day. And we hug each other every day. Create that environment that the child can always run back to. I know they don't tell me everything. And they won't tell you everything because they have their friends. There will be some things that they'll keep. Sometimes you can see yourself in your child.
Yeah, true.
And I see myself in one of them. She won't tell you anything, but encourage them. This Mother's Day, the one who doesn't tell me much said, Mommy, she texted, I don't say it much, but I love you.
That's good.
Has your child said that to you lately? Have you said that to your child lately? Let them know. If you say, there's a song that says that if you say you love somebody, you've got to let the person know.
They have to know.
Please make an effort to tell your child, I love you, until you get comfortable with saying it. And mean it when you do.
And mean it. You know that some women will say that, and I'm the only person taking care of my children. My husband is not helping me. Do you have to look for help from your husband?
I think whatever I do to the glory of God. And I try to convince myself that God will bless me for what I'm doing for him. So honestly speaking, I have never quarreled with my ex about whether I'm doing more with the children than he was doing. For me, the way I grew up was that if you must help the man to be successful, because his success will cover all of you. So for me, I was only playing my part as a wife and as a mother.
As a good wife.
Thank you. Yes, in chilling comfort no sir. I was doing that, and I'm sure that if you brought him onto a set today, there will be things he would say about, and I've heard him say that to his friends. I've heard him say two things. That one, that Becky dear or her name man.
Wow.
So there must be some
yes,
so this is a man I'm no longer married to, but appreciates that Becky dear or her name. I wasn't looking for he playing his part. I think I had just accepted that nurturing a child was the place of a woman, of a mother. And so I did, including going to the market and standing on my feet until night to cook for the whole week, because I was a career woman, you know, and making sure that I woke up early to make food for your child to go to school. Those are activities that you just accept as your part. But the part where confrontations or conflicts come will be money issues and breakdown in communications.
I'm happy you
because I used to keep my money together with my husband.
You joined.
So this is it. We did not have a joint account, but there was a common place at home where we put the money, and then when you want to use it, you go there and you take.
Was it the right thing?
It didn't work very well for us. But it's because we trusted, let me say at the beginning, we trusted each other with that. But down the line, trust broke down, because I begin to think he's using too much, and he thinks I'm using too much. And so down the line, it did not really work well. I think it would work well if that money was savings towards a particular project or particular objective. Then there's more accountability.
That is it.
When accountability gets messed up or missing, it causes conflict. So I would say that my style was not good
at all. If you had done joint and then maybe both to sign, because myself and my husband, we've done joint throughout, both to sign, not either to sign. That one works well, because when you need the other person's signature, you have to explain why
the purpose of money.
You want to take the money.
So I didn't do. So those are some of the things, some of my poor choices in my marriage.
Looking back, will you say that you are happy sacrificing for your children?
I can look in the screen and tell you that I'm very excited about the choices I made where my children were concerned.
Good.
It would be controversial to say this, but I'll say it. One of the reasons as well that I divorced my husband was also because of the children. Because I was thinking the environment was too poisonous for the children to grow up in. And that's why when
when you say poisonous, what does that mean? Because
there was too much conflict at home. There was too much. There was no understanding. Communication had broken down. There was no trust. There was acrimony. You know, so it was not a healthy environment that a child could be nurtured in. Because the child's mind is it's not strong.
Yes.
And if they start seeing certain things too early, it might jeopardize how they appreciate things and their understanding of issues correctly. One of the reasons why I did not watch some kind of movies in my home, because I'm thinking the concept and the plot for certain kinds of movies that adults and children watch together were too strong and too mature for the child's mind.
True.
So when I'm choosing videos and books to buy, they're always child friendly. And those are some of the choices you should be making.
Good.
If you do not have time to be with your children all the time, make sure that the resources you have at home, both the visual and the audio resources you have at home, majority of them are child friendly. And watch them together. That was a big sacrifice for me. So for more than 10, 15 years, I will not watch adult themed or adult plot movies because I wasn't watching it alone. I didn't have a lot of room. It was just a 2-bedroom house, and I didn't have a lot of room to like watch my own movies in my room. It would have to be watching it in the living room. So I had to make sure that it was PG. It was child friendly. And then talking the children through it. I think they get angry with me and think that I talk too much when we are watching movies. They don't like it. But you see, sometimes when it gets to certain things and you are not too sure how your child has understood it, you want to put in a word. So please, children, don't blame us. It's all for your own good. That we sometimes we chip in. I know that mummies like me, we talk too much. I hope that they have forgiven me now. I heard my older daughter tell the younger one that leave her, she can't change. It gets to a point where they understand you, that you don't mean harm. I scream on the children, I scold them, and the younger one tells me, Mommy, I know it's because you want to correct me. So sometimes they don't like it. But when they think about it again, they just accept that
there is one thing, if you do it in love, they know. And they know. And if they are watching me, you know how after we've done that, we go out and have an ice cream, or we go out and do something fun. That's nice. They know. I try to blend because I can be very tough. Being a single mother, you are tough.
Naturally. Being a single mother is not easy. So a lot of the time, single mothers are tough. But we need to balance it with some softness. Sometimes I scold them, and the spirit inside me chastises me that, oh, that was a bit too strong. Okay. We African women are not used to saying I'm sorry to our children. I very rarely say I'm sorry, and they know that. But I will do something else.
Ice cream.
With my crushed biscuits on the way.
That's it. So, you see, you are sharing this for people to learn, and it's a very good lesson because it's appropriate that the children grow well behaved.
Yes.
And it's all in the nurturing.
Absolutely.
Yes. So before we bring this to a close, you know, the whole month of May, I have dedicated it to mothers.
Okay.
And single mothers. You know, somebody's married, they don't even have any help from the man, but they still want to be in there. Say something that would encourage mothers, and then wish them, then we'll bring our conversation to a close.
So mothers, we were created uniquely to help. So the middle name for any mother is help. And so when you are helping, don't look left and don't look right, not even for praise or gratitude. If you do that, you will be unhappy. You will not be satisfied because you're waiting for somebody to either validate what you're doing or to praise you for what you're doing. Bear in mind that you are custodians and stewards of the children God has placed in your care. So you are doing this job not for man. Man would have paid you if man gave that job to you.
That's true.
It's a divine position. It's a divine job that we're doing as stewards of all the children placed under our care. I know some of you, the children you have under your care are not your biological children, but you are mothering them. Remember that there's no work you do for God that He does not pay.
That's true.
He rewards, and you will see the rewards in your lifetime here before you get your crown of glory up above in heaven.
Amen.
So whatever you are doing as a mother for a child or a guardian in this month of May, I just want to remind you, because I know you know that already, that do it as unto God, because God is the rewarder of the job that you're doing. Don't look for anybody's help in doing it. I said sometimes you do it until it hurts. And even when it hurts, continue doing it, because scripture has admonished us not to grow weary in doing good. For in due season, it will come. The results definitely come. So please, enjoy motherhood. Don't make it look too difficult. Yes, sometimes it's not good, and sometimes it's good, but such is life. So enjoy it as you go. When there's a little leverage, make it enjoyable. When it is tough, gird your loins and brave it, because there's reward in it. You will see that child grow and blossom, and you will feel proud. I feel very proud about the 2 daughters that the Lord has given me, and all the other children under my influence. They see me and they are happy, and it has not always been a smooth journey, but we forgive each other as we go on. Forgiveness is equally key for any mother. If you do not have forgiveness, you can't mother a child, because the children sometimes can be stubborn. But that's why God has given us something that I can't say abadai. Every woman needs to either develop abadai or to learn to be empathetic and sympathetic, because the children need that to grow, and they will forgive you because they know that the motive is to mold them into a better person in life. God bless you all, and have a good Mother's Month. We've celebrated Mother's Day already, but we are continuing to celebrate motherhood in this month. So the whole of month, if there's anything you can do either to appreciate another mother or to evidence your motherhood to another child, please don't hesitate to do it, and God will bless you.
Please don't hesitate to show love to a child, and God will bless you. You have to be strong as a woman and a mother. He says, get up your loins. Whatever you are doing, you shall be rewarded. Don't be tired of sacrificing for your children. Mothers are great. They do so many things, sacrifices that we make for our families. It is God who will reward us. Today, we came your way to encourage you as a woman, to encourage you as a mother. Don't be tired. Be involved in the things concerning your children. Bring them up in the fear of the Lord, so that you would enjoy the dividend. Becky, God bless you so much for encouraging us today. God is taking you far. Even for this nation, God will reward you. Viewers, God bless you also for always taking time off your busy schedules to watch us. Please share this video to bless people out there. Use this video to encourage someone else, and the Lord will surely bless you. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Why? We subscribe, I know I share the videos so kakra. Now boyen. I know that you will never be the same. I hope you have been blessed by this episode. See you same time next week. Bye.